we're in what we call Whiskey Row. I'm gonna build this whole thing out. It's gonna look different to a degree. We've got our guy Richard, and he talked about this being a very unique bottle, hard to find. Now, this is from where?
It's from Taiwan.
So it is from Taiwan. What made you get a whiskey or get into learning about whiskey from Taiwan?
So my first love in whiskey was Scotch. And there's just kind of big tradition to that. And for it to be Scotch, it needs to be from Scotland.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of other countries that are making whiskey in the spirit of Scotch, but it can't be called Scotch because it's not from Scotland. The Japanese are doing it big time. And some of those bottles are really highly sought after. And so are the Taiwanese, and that's what this Kavalan is. And they do it in India as well. It's called Amrut. In the hotter regions, typically it doesn't go for as long, and it's generally 100% malted barley, and it's matured, and then ex red wine cask are my favorite. But they also do ex bourbon, they do virgin oak, they do PX, they do everything. So
when you say in the spirit of whiskey or bourbon, this is their take on making something magical, objectively.
Yeah, this is their take on Scotch, but it can't be called Scotch because it's not from Scotland. But it's 100% malted barley, like Scotch would be. And then it's aged in a Oloroso sherry cask, like some of my favorite Scotches are.
Interesting.
And I want to say this one, generally, it would go for, between 18 plus years to get the level of maturity that's in this bottle. But because it's so hot in Taiwan, I think this one's 7 years old, and it still drinks very, very old.
That's interesting, man. Now, why is this something you would bring to share, man?
It puts a smile on everybody's face. There's kind of so much information in the sip that it's fun to watch people's brain process it on their face. You know what I mean? They put it in their mouth, and then fireworks just kind of start happening, and especially the ones that like it. And I've never had anything that tastes like that. I didn't know there could be those kind of flavors in there. Especially people coming from American whiskey, so they're used to something corn forward or very sweet. There's savory notes in here.
And what is this made with? Since you said corn forward, what's this made with?
Oh, so like American whiskey is corn forward, like bourbon. It's 51% corn. This is only malted barley, so there's no corn, there's no rye, there's none of that in there. And because of that, and the ex-red wine barrel, it takes on more savory notes. There's like teriyaki in here, balsamic vinaigrette in here. There's a weird kind of like magic marker thing that's pretty cool in here.
Man, you was huffing. Don't tell me you were huffing that permanent.
You got to try it, man.
Let's go ahead, man. Look.
Yeah, you got to try it.
This is, oh, man. Yeah, you just want to dab with this one.
I haven't even had this in a little while, so I'm curious because especially the red wine finished ones, they change so much with air over time that there might be some stuff going on in here that I haven't had in a while. Yeah, that color is strictly from their wine barrel.
Now, how long do you normally let that sit and open up?
So my rule of thumb generally is I let it sit for a minute in the glass for a year in the barrel. So if it's a 15-year-old whiskey, I let it air out for about 15 minutes before I take a sip. That's generally the rule.
We learned a new rule today.
Richard, but this thing will change on you. Like this thing will just keep changing.
You know what I love is I've learned to slow the F down when we're drinking whiskey. So I'm like, I'm not in no rush because it's already... It's got some super strong notes. And I love that I figured out how to drink whiskey. Because if I hadn't met people like Tim and others, or even gone to our first distillery ever, I wouldn't have never thought about nosing anything, man. So to let that thing breathe and learn about Glencairns and being at the blendery, man, you go, wow.
You get cocoa, chocolate?
Yeah.
Yeah. Little magic marker, packing marker.
Yeah, man, I'm
hazelnut.
The man's got some magic in. I got to save a little bit so we can do the phone version of this. You go, wow. That's dark too, man.
Oh, yeah.
There's all this stuff, like even Macallan does it, because Macallan's often finished in those ports too a little bit.
Yeah, most of the Macallan stuff that people chase is finished in red wine. Yeah, mostly Oloroso sherry or PX are the ones that people chase after, and that generally makes it red or darker,
Yeah, let's go ahead and take a swig. You definitely get
balsamic, like a vinaigrette even. I'm telling you, man.
That thing is morphine.
Yep. There's so many flavors in there.
It's almost like it's bitter almost.
Mm-hmm. It's not just always sweet. That's my favorite thing. So like American whiskeys, because especially corn forward, or there's just a lot more sweetness to them. And so I feel like there's, all of your flavor notes are going to be vanilla, chocolate, caramels, or fruit. With these, I mean, you get savory stuff like teriyaki, like balsamic, like new electronics. Like, I mean, I know that's weird, but I've got a note in here that smells like you opened a new TV. Like
everything you're saying, you smell like a fresh house, a new car. You're like, why the car don't smell that freshness when but whatever they put in there is fresh as hell. And what's the proof on that?
Oh, it's high. Yeah.
I was about to say now. I got a little light hit. I think
it's 57. Yeah, 57.1. Sips easy though.
Man, Rich, this has been. I mean, and that's called
Kavalan.
Mm-hmm.
And the Oloroso ones, and I think the ones that are done in PX are blue instead of red. Those are the two that everyone seems to go after the most.
And you can't buy this in regular stores.
You can still get the PX ones at Total Wine. The Amontillado ones are at Total Wine. I want to say they're like $650 though, like in the case. Yeah, they're not easy to get. Yeah, they're pricey. They come in a nice wooden box and stuff too. Yeah, they're proud of them.
Well, when we hit certain numbers on this channel, those would be bottles we treat ourselves.
Sure.
We're like, hey guys, we bought a couple Kavalans because we're cavaliers in this space. Now, guys, I've told you at the Art of Whiskey, we're going to sit here and we're going to highlight people who know what they're talking about, because I'm just learning, and eventually I will be Mr. Whiskey. And all I'm going to do is try whiskey and share things with others. Most importantly, information, experiences. And I love, like he said, he brought this, which I didn't know about whiskey. People like seeing people's faces. They like to share whiskey. I'm like, where I come from, we ain't sharing shit. You go, hey man, let me get a little bit of it. Nah, nigga, you didn't put in on this. This is mine. So when I walk into a space and everybody's like this, I'm like, how much do I owe you? Oh, it's free, man. Enjoy. What? Give me a little bit more then. Pour me a little bit more. Remember in you a movie guy?
Oh yeah.
Remember Vince Vaughn in the fucking Owen Wilson in the Google movie?
Oh yeah, the internship.
He's like, so I can get like a 44 guns. I could just, it's all free. All free. Well, let me get 6 of those donuts. I can take all this.
100%.
That's how I feel, because you just all of this for me. Let's do it. So, guys, if you're interested in opening up your palate, I think this is a palate opener.
Oh yeah.
And definitely, you've got the ducats, as they say, the Skrilla. How much does this bottle normally run?
So these, I haven't even seen these anymore. The only ones, because these are old, and they come in these.
They'll show them that again. This looks like leather, man.
Yeah, the only tubes I've seen on these lately are the blue ones, the Vino Barrique. Everything else I've seen comes in a wooden box, and they are in the case at Total Wine, but they're like $600, $650.
So you got the last of the last.
You might be able to get them from like Kavalan, or you might be able to like order them or import them, but I haven't seen them in any retail locations around.
Man, look at that, people. When it's got the Y on it, it comes from the other side of the earth. Yeah. It got that E, that means it's from America. Yeah. We always fucking something up. I tell you that, people. Stay tuned. Richard, thank you a ton for sharing.
Of course.
This. Keep it whiskey, people.